Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to my another tutorial for the Material Maker. I'm using version 0.91. This is in beta. It's not released yet, but it will be soon. So my environment is a custom environment, Snowy Park, and as you can see, yeah, this is current settings, and yeah, and I will be doing bark texture material, so this will be mostly improvised, so we will see what we will get in the end. So yeah, firstly I will start with some basic setup of the nodes. I'm doing this usually at the beginning to see better how the end result will look like and visualize better shapes. So yeah, I will add the buffer. I will be working on it 2K resolution, and yeah, so the first node I always use, it's a smooth curvature node. It's a built-in node which adds a curvature, so if you add a shape, for example something like that, you can see that the curvature will look something like that. So the strength is a little bit too high, so I will usually make it a lot less visible, so maybe like something like that, and also I will increase the resolution. And yeah, so this is the smooth curvature, and sometimes I add some color blending or something like that, but for now let's just use yeah, this gray color and curvature, so we have something like that in our preview, as you can see. Yeah, maybe it will be easier to work, at least for now, into the preview. So another node which is no basic setup, it's a normal map, of course, so we'll be using defaults except the resolution, and I will connect it to the normal. Yeah, and we have a normal map, so I also like adding ambient occlusion, so HBAO, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, we have a HBAO node. We can leave it with those settings. Maybe we can, you know, decrease the strength, yeah, and increase intensity. It will be hard to spot small details on the bark. It's usually looking better with higher intensity. So yeah, this is what we having now, and of course the last thing is depth. So actually in Material Maker we have a height maps, so we need to invert it so it will look correct. Yeah, and I think maybe strength, I like to decrease it at the beginning. We will see how it will look later. Yeah, so with this basic setup we can start working on some basic shapes. So yeah, so I like to start with some you know, easily extinguishable shapes and pattern. So I will use a pattern node, generic pattern, yeah, this one, So it looks like this by default, but I want to get some rows only, so I will replace it here, and probably I want only one in Y, and we can change those two parameters. So I mean, yeah, so let's change it to bounce, for example. Yeah, I like it. So maybe this one, square, no, constant. Yeah, constant is what I'm looking for. We can also change the combiner, like add, max, po. Yeah, let's leave it like that. Okay, so we have a basic shape, but I want to each of these lines have a little bit of different color, so I will use a blend node with a multiply mode. Yeah, so this is currently looking like that, and I will add a colorize node. So if I connect it right away like that, and with control I can block this preview, you can see this is darker on the left and lighter on the right, but that's not what I want. I want some gradients of gray color. Probably I want one to be black totally. Yeah, and I'm adding, stops like that. Yeah, so this is looking like that, and we can change the mode. For example, this one looking kind of weird, but we can tweak it to our liking. Maybe this one is, yeah, and something like that. So we can remove only one node, I mean line. This one we can add another color. They don't need to be aligned perfectly. So this way there will be a little bit of variation in the result. Yeah, so I think that's looking pretty nice. So now what I will do is I will add some additional layer of noise on top of this. This is looking really procedural, so let's break the shapes a little bit with some noise. Yeah, and let's add a Voronoi. This is a new noise added by Arncade. Yeah, let's see how does it look. Let's disable this preview. So this is how it's look. I think a little bit more on the scale and this scale. Yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe I will decrease. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty nice. So let's blend it, and we will blend it on top of the previous result. So we have something like that, and now we are adding this one, maybe in the lighten mode, but let's not add it too much. It could be something like this. Yeah, I think I kind of like it like that. So yeah, and now this is really boring straight lines from top to bottom, so let's use a transform node to make it a little bit more interesting. So transform, yeah, and actually I want to move them only by one wave, so it will be a little bit more interesting. Yeah. Okay, so let's add a gradient node. We can, yeah, so maybe let's make it from top to bottom, or maybe invert it so it will be looking like that, and add it to translate. And how much we want it to be translated? Well, if you want to move only by one line, then we have 12 lines, so we can move it by something like this. Yeah, 0.0, and you have something like that. Yeah, so we can change the mode and see which one looking the best. We can also move it a little bit like that, and yeah, something like that. It's much more interesting. Yeah, and the lines currently have equal width, so yeah, I will use a warp node to make it a little bit more uneven. So yeah, we can create another gradient node. Let's move it, yeah, let's keep it same color on the both sides. Yeah, and let's add few other colors, I mean shades of gray. So we have something like that. We connect it to warp, and it's yeah, this is too strong, so maybe I will decrease it like a lot. Yeah, something like that. It may be okay. Maybe this is too dark. Yeah, this is looking a little bit more organic, so I think it's okay. But now we have our image going outside of our image size, so we can change the color. So I maybe set it to lines and change the color. So maybe we'll use a red one, so it will be easy to see. Yeah, okay, so this one is outside of the range of our work. So what we can do, we can use scale node. Yeah, let's add the scale node. Maybe, yeah, we can scale by eyeballing it a little bit more. Yeah, something like that. Everything is inside the range we want to work on. Yeah, so this shape we'll use in tiler later. That's the idea, but let's add a little bit of gradients and stuff like that now. So let's use a blend node again. Yeah, and let's change it to multiply. Let's use another gradient. Probably we need to rotate this one. We want this this image to be invisible on top. So let's make it like that. We can move it down somewhere here. Yeah, let's change the mode maybe. Yeah, I think I like it. So yeah, we can add additional gradients on top of this. So I will add a blend, another blend, and this time I will use something more dynamic. So I want to modify gradient for each of these lines, or maybe not lines, but I want it to be, you know, much more organic. So I don't want a blend for whole image. So yeah, I will use again multiply 1 and do it with what we will do it. Okay, so maybe I will use a gradient again. This time it could be some kind of weird angle, like this, and I will multiply it like that. But I will work with opacity, so it won't be visible for everything. Actually, I will take maybe this output of this node, and I will use tone steps node. So I will yes, so I will select few nodes that I like. I will go with width to 0, maybe. Yeah, it can be something like that. Yeah, and let's use it as opacity. And how does it look? Well, that's the best. So we'll use a blur node. So yeah, this is too harsh. Blur node, it can be fast blur. Maybe, yeah, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, let's add an opacity. Yeah, so we want it to be inverted. So we want the gradient to be on top and multiply. Something like that. Okay, so this is how does it look right now. Yeah, and I think we're almost ready for the transform, for the tiler, but I will probably break it a little bit with the transform or warp node, so that the bottom edge isn't so perfect. Yeah, so we can add the transfer node. Yeah, let's use a transfer node. So transfer node, and we use noise. So yeah, noise FBM, and well, we can leave it like that. I think maybe something like that. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty okay-ish, but I want it to be okay value for the translate for this transform. So for the Y, so as you can see it's breaking, but I want it to be always positive, bigger than 1, so that it won't go below. So I will use math node, because right now it's going below the image boundaries, and it will be visible in Tyler with weird artifacts. So we can be here, we can add one, so this way, I think, yeah, this way we can move it below or above, yeah, so actually we can, yeah, we can leave it like that. And yeah, we are ready for a Tyler. So let's add the Tyler node. This is how it's looking now, not really like a bark or tree. So yeah, let's fix it. For sure we don't want a random rotate, we want it to be 0. Random scale, well, we can leave it a little bit. Random value, yeah, we want most of it to be visible, so maybe like that. Random offset, well, we can have a random offset, but going above 0.5 is not really always a good idea. Sometimes look more organic with lower values. For the scale, I think I will leave it like that, or maybe I will decrease the tile Y number and I will increase the scale Y to 1 or something like that, yeah, and we can use a scale X to fix those gaps. Yeah, something like that is looking a lot better. Okay, I think this is looking pretty nice. Yeah, so let's save it. Yeah, so it's saved, and maybe we can connect it to our preview. Oh yeah, this didn't work. Let's move it here. Okay, so let's remove the shape and let's connect to buffer bark. Yeah, so it's looking currently something like that. Okay, this is configured correctly, but I want to have a tessellated version of the material, so we have more shapes visible. Yeah, so this is currently how our bark is looking.